In the 1.21 update, they redesigned all the faces and then added 9 more. And I want to show the comparison of the old faces with the new faces. Starting with the angry face, I think this is an improvement. It definitely looks more angry or like upset. And something you'll notice with a lot of the new ones, the eyebrows like shape is a little more detailed and a little thinner. Like there's more like shape to it. And then also a lot of the eyes will now have like a little line at the bottom of the eyes instead of just at the top. And then the black pupils have a little bit more unique shape / detail to it. And then the overall colors being used like on the lips, on the eyebrows and such, they're like a little bit of a darker blue than in the old faces. And for this face and all the other faces, I'm using literally the same like character settings. It's the same hair, it's the same face for the comparison, and it's the same eye color, all that stuff. It's all the same. Next, we have Grin. In the new version, we no longer have the like almost puppy dog eyes look that the Grin has, which honestly a lot of the older ones do kind of have like almost like a puppy dog eye look to them, at least like the more positive faces. I think that so initially when I first like compared all these faces, initially with all the more like positive faces like Grin, Smirk, all that kind of stuff, I initially wasn't fond of the new faces. It put me off, especially because it felt a little more like it changed the faces to be a little bit more negative on average. But as I've gotten more used to it and accustomed to it, I don't see all of them like that as much anymore. So the new Grin, I do think is an improvement. It does, like the little lines at the bottom and how it's like a little more squinted does feel like it's a little more tired. That serif is just a little tired. And then the one on the left looks like it's gonna stare into your soul. And I'm now just thinking that I probably should have used a different hairstyle for all these pictures so that you can more properly see the whole face. But too late for that. Don't feel like going back and redoing all these pictures and stuff. Moving on to the kind face. The old version also has that kind of puppy dog look / staring into your soul / abyss look as well. So I do think that part is an improvement on the new one personally. But the new one doesn't feel as kind as the old one. The new one has like a tinge, not a lot, but like a tinge of mischievousness or like a tinge of evil. I don't know how to describe it. I think it's generally fine, but because of the eyebrows being pointed down a little bit, the top line of the eye being like tilted inward a little bit, and the bottom line of the eye being tilted up a little like that, it all combined with the smile just makes it feel a tinge mischievous / evil. But that's just how I've interpreted it. One thing on a lot of these is that the mouth, I think, is definitely improved on more, because it like now comparing the two, it does feel weird having that like darker brick in the middle in the old one. Like the old one, it's like three segments, and then the middle one is like an extra darker color, and it does feel a little weird. And so I kind of like that in the new one. I think the middle one is still like a darker color technically, but it's way more subtle. And then also the left and right segment of the new one in the mouth is a little thicker. And I don't know, I kind of just like that. Now on to neutral. The old one kind of has this like whatever kind of look, or like it feels like the serif is like, whatever. Or it's like, yo, whatever. It's like that more kind of nonchalant kind of feel. And the new one definitely doesn't have that whatever look. It definitely feels a little more neutral, I think. Although slightly more positive, I think. And then also a lot of the new ones, just comparatively to the old ones, just feel a tinge of tiredness added onto them. And I think that's just purely, again, because of the bottom line of the eyes. The little line at the bottom makes them feel a little extra tired. But maybe that's befitting of the serifs of this world and all the turmoil they have to go through. Now we got the sad face. The new one compared to the old one, I think does look a little sadder, but like not too sad. because there is still the very sad face option. So I think it's a good minor sad. It does feel like the new one has like a tinge of upset, but I think new sad works. The old sad does have a different vibe to it though. This is part of the struggle. It's like I do think there are overall improvements with the new one, with the new ones in general, but some of the feelings that the old ones captured are, it's kind of sucks that they're a little bit lost. Cause I liked some of the, I just like having options, just because all these faces, no matter if you think they're an improvement or not, they have like a different feeling or like read to it, well, depending on the person, of course. And so all the old faces, we're not gonna get that expression or feeling that it gave us looking at it anymore. And that's just how the cookie crumbles. Well, until someone makes a mod to allow you to have the old faces again. But moving away from the sadness, we got the seriousness. And how I interpret the serious face in the old version on the left is that serif looks like they're gonna beat the crap out of me. They look like they're really ready. They're like they about to throw hands or something. And then the new one on the right, they look like a more like kind of normal serious face, but almost like a tinge of suspicious, which I think kind of works. And now we're moving on to the Smirk. And the Smirk had a more personal place in my heart because it was the face I've pretty much used the whole time I've been playing Vintage Story. I just liked its simple, kind face. And the new one definitely has a lot of levels of mischievousness added to it. And when I first saw the new one, this was like my first experience with the new faces, was comparing it to the Smirk because that's what my character was using. And I was initially very upset because it changed the one I liked. It changed the one I was using, and it made the read of the face very different. But now that it's been more time, I am no longer that upset about the face. I don't think I'm going to be using the Smirk anymore, but I think that the new Smirk does work better for what a Smirk is often, like what the actual word means, where like a Smirk is like a little, I don't know, it's like a little mischievous or like a haha kind of, or I don't know, or I don't know how to explain it, but I think the new one does work better for being a Smirk. And in general, again, I like how the pupils in the new 1.21 faces don't have that kind of disassociating, staring into the void look, although that can be a mood sometimes. Maybe they need to just add a new 1.21 face called disassociating, and it will give similar vibes to with the eyes to the old faces. That could be a very funny one. Are you feeling tired? Because these serifs sure are. It's very subtle, but with the old face, the mouth is ever so just slanted a little bit, specifically the right piece of the mouth, just a tinge slanted, which I think kind of looks nice. I think both faces work well as being tired, but they feel like somewhat different kinds of tired. Like the old tired feels like that serif is they're kind of just done with life. And they're just kind of done trying. And then the new face seems like they're tired of you. This serif is tired of the other serifs. In general, though, the new face is just kind of a bit more of a grumpy feeling. Like they woke up on the wrong side of the bed this morning. Next, we have the upset face. And the new one definitely does a better job of conveying, I'm upset with you, or I'm just upset. And the old one has the kind of upset face of when they say, what did you just say? What do you call me? Oh, like those kind of phrases. And then last on the list of comparisons, we got the very sad face. And this is one where I feel like the old one does feel like a more very sad face compared to the new one. And I think that's just due to like the puppy dog eyes, like the doughy eyes. But the old one feels like a tinge of cross-eyed for some reason. I'm not sure. Or like the eyes are just separated just a a little too much, and like I don't know, maybe I'm just interpreting it weird. But despite that, I think the new one visually like just looks nicer or is nicer. Now thinking about it, comparatively, like the eyes kind of being squinted a bit more kind of still lends to feeling like they could be about to cry or something, or they might be brought to tears or something. Yeah, like looking at a standalone, ignoring the old one because of the eyes squinted, and so there's less of like just outside pupils space. Yeah, I think the new one, I like the new one for sure more, but the old one definitely has its vibe. Those are all the comparisons for the old faces with the new variants of those faces. But now let's go over all the completely newly added faces into 1.21 that did not have an equivalent previously. First up, we have the face called Adequate. I don't really know what the facial expression adequate should look like or would look like. It kind of just gives off like a different kind of upset vibes though. So I don't know if the name is more describing that the serif looks adequate or that they are feeling the feeling of adequate towards something else. It's definitely a fine facial expression on its own. Next, we have Caring. This one I think could be done a little bit better to give off a better caring vibe. And I think it's mostly because of the eyebrows or like just how the eyes are tilted a little. I think it generally works as caring, but it has just the tiniest little bit of mischievousness of like they're crossing their two fingers behind their back. They're like secretly evil or something. I don't know, or like this is a fake caring. I don't know why I read it like that, but that's how I read it. Then we got Determined. I do think this face looks determined. When I first saw it, I was like, nah, that's just kind of like a slightly tilted face, like someone who's tilted. But the more I looked at it, I'm like, yeah, that person looks determined in a more like fueling yourself with negative emotion kind of determined. Just slightly, not like a lot, like almost like a determination out of spite kind of vibe. Like I'm determined to do this to spite someone else that said I can't do it kind of thing, or like whatever. So I think it works. It would be cool to have a more positive fueled Determined though as well. And now we got Exhausted. This serif sure does look exhausted. I think this does work. Maybe they could have made it look actually a little bit more exhausted, because exhausted does feel like a more extreme versus tired. Like honestly, this face could probably work as just tired as well. So maybe there could be another face on the line that's just somehow even more exhausted, because that could be interesting. Like they are just zero energy, 1000% pooped. After that, we have the Fierce face, which I think this is the only face that has a slit in the eyebrow. I'm assuming that slit is like more a signifier of like maybe a scar or something. Like they've been in battle and like they got cut on the eyebrow, and so they got a scar there and the hair is not growing back. That's how I'm interpreting it based off of the name. But for your own serif, you could definitely treat it as if it's not from battle and you just chose to have a slit in your eyebrow like from like cosmetic reasons. I think this generally works as Fierce. You could theoretically go with like a battle ready or battle hardened, or like I'm gonna beat you up kind of look like maybe like a more pointy frown, or I'm not sure, but I do think this works. Next we have Indifferent, and I feel like they're a little bit different. It kind of works because there is that kind of like resting kind of mean look some people have, but like in reality they're just like whatever, or like they feel indifferent. They have like that kind of resting mean look to them. So if it's that kind of indifferent, then I think it works. And then we have Mellow. Similarly to the Indifferent, I don't think it's that mellow. It feels a little bit similar to the new Grin face, but the eyebrows are just like tilted in a little bit more, like just like a little extra mischievousness or something. Yeah, I don't know. This one doesn't feel mellow to me. It's not a bad face, but it doesn't fit the name to me. But I'm curious to know what you guys think, especially with like all these faces. Let me know what you think of the faces. But moving forward, we got the thoughtful face, which they don't really seem thoughtful. They kind of give meh vibes, or maybe this one's closer to indifferent. I'm not sure, but it kind of gives meh vibes, or oh, this is kind of like a desensitized vibe a little bit, or like a bored look. Maybe this is kind of like a bored look, but thoughtful, I would not interpret this as thoughtful. I guess maybe they mean it as in like the serif is lost in thought, and so maybe their head just a little empty, right? Or I guess not empty, it's full, and but they have just more of a blank stare kind of face. Maybe that's their idea with this. I'm not sure. And then last of the completely new faces, we have Wary, which I think kind of has a little bit of a derpy feel to it. Like the eyes are a little bit further apart compared to the other faces, and so it gives this little derpy feel. And that's all the 1.21 faces. But wait, I have a little treat for you. If you are someone that likes the new face style, but just wish you can have like some less angsty kind of faces, a little bit more kind, then I made a mod for that called Art's Kind 1.21 Faces, where I took a handful of faces and made them look a little less tired, kind of, and a little bit more positive / kinder. Well, at least compared to their 1.21 counterparts. Oh, but wait, there's even more. I made another face mod. For those that want to keep using the old pre-1.21 faces, I made a mod that forward ports them back into the game as additional options. And that mod is just called Old Faces. Both my mods here do not replace any of the vanilla 1.21 faces. They just add new optional faces so that if you have this on a server and you're playing with a lot of people, everyone has different preferences on probably what they think about the new faces. And so this just adds them on top of them so that everyone has the freedom to choose which face they want. And also helps make them just more compatible with each other's, and hopefully should work with any other person's face mod. The link for both those mods will be in the description, or you can just search them up on the vintagestory mod page. And thank you for watching / listening to me blab on for who knows how long. I haven't edited this yet, so I will figure out how long this will actually be. It was initially supposed to be a quicker video, but based off of how long I yapped, I know it's gonna be a good bit longer. Until next time, hopefully I'll see you in a future video. Bye!